Hi, everyone. My name is Brian McDonald. I work in residential life at UCLA.
Hi, everyone. My name is Melissa Fabic, and I work in housing services.
First and foremost, we want to thank you. There's a lot of ways you could be spending your time right now. We know there's a lot going on in the world. We'll be talking about a lot of the things that happen at UCLA in residential life and in housing when things aren't so extraordinary. But hopefully you'll glean from our presentation the things we do when there are things not going according to plan. So right now, first and foremost, as we're talking today about what might happen in the fall, we hope that right now, today, you and your families are safe and everyone's doing all right. And certainly we are presenting this information to you in the context of what is happening in the world today, and we'll be mindful of that. Normally we'd be meeting you in person, you'd be laughing at our jokes, we'd be answering questions. So we hope that this at least gets you from point A to point B as it pertains to life on campus at UCLA.
Yeah. And again, we want to congratulate you on your admissions. And we want to let you know that this is being recorded. And if you'd like to take a look, it'll be up on the bruinbound.ucla.edu website, where you'll find this presentation as well as lots of other great content. We're excited to dive in, tell you about the Hill, and answer your questions throughout the week. We'll have Q&A and lots of fun stuff throughout the week for you.
Yep. We'll be practicing good social distancing during this presentation. We hope you do too. So please bear with us during the logistics. Sometimes if we click on a slide, it might lag a little bit given the fact that we're showing this all over the world to a lot of different people. We removed some of the heavier content in terms of some of the videos that we're going to post on our website for you to enjoy. And really, we'll give you our contact information, but really our social media presence at UCLA Housing is really a living, breathing, virtual experience of what life on campus is like. So one of the things that you'll see Melissa and I show and talk about throughout this presentation is that living on campus is so much more than just coming home and going to sleep. We do this work, Melissa and I and our teams and our staff and our student employees, because we really do believe that coming to UCLA and living at UCLA is a place where we hope for you, the students, that you get out of bed every day, excited to be a part of this community, that you feel safe when you're here, and when you feel satisfied when you go to bed at the end of the night or early in the morning, whenever that might be. And so that's really why we show up to work every day, to create that environment. And if we create that environment, it's going to help you do well in the classroom, outside of the classroom, with friends, with family. It really is our vision that this experience helps you in so many ways, not just now, but to be good citizens in the future. And we really come from that place. So you'll see that a lot of the things we talk about go beyond just what's happening in your room. There are so many different experiences. Learning does not just happen in the classroom. Learning happens at 2 o'clock in the morning when you're studying with friends. It happens in bathrooms. It happens at mealtime. And so Melissa actually is going to share a little bit more about the actual nuts and bolts of how many rooms we have and who lives where. So Melissa.
Yeah. Well, we're excited to talk to you all about our residential community. And one of the many unique things about UCLA's housing is that we're located all in one centralized area. We lovingly refer to it as the Hill because it is, while very walkable, up a little bit of a hill from main campus. And so on the Hill, we house close to 14,000 students. And by having all of the housing in one location, it's really given us the opportunity to create a thriving city. So as Brian said, we're going to talk more about the different faces and people you might get to meet and the experiences that you can have on the Hill. But we're really excited by the, like I said, little city that we've been able to build. While not required, we have almost 100% of incoming freshmen do choose to live with us. And a remarkable thing is that at UCLA, we guarantee 3 consecutive years of housing, which a lot of other universities can't do. So we have, like I said, close to 14,000 students living on the Hill. And we'll get into a little bit more about the different buildings and room types. But you're going to hear from Brian a little bit more about some of the staff that are also not only working here, but living here to support your experiences.
And as we get started into the experience, we want folks to know as well that it doesn't matter if you are a third generation UCLA Bruin or if you are the first in your family to go to school. And so first and foremost, for those who are the first in your family to get admitted to college, congratulations. We have a first-year experience program that's really robust. We have a very, very vibrant and comprehensive First to Go program where we have faculty and staff who were the first in their families to go to school, creating a mentorship program for those who share in that experience. And when you get into the actual residence halls, I'll talk a little bit about our full staffing model in just a little while, but you should know that as soon as you arrive on campus in the fall, in September, you are not by yourself. You're immediately greeted by faculty and staff and current student leaders who are there to help move you in. We have parent programs throughout the entire move, and we basically provide, the first few days where you're here, there's no classes. We have an event called True Brew and Welcome, where for several days, almost a week, every single club, student organization, every resource that's on campus, sometimes they come to the Hill, right up to your door. Other times, main campus is really alive with a lot of activity. And we want to make sure that before you start school, you know where your home is. You know how to navigate. You've connected with your roommates. And I said roommates because every first-year student is in a triple. It's weird if you're not in a triple, so everyone goes through that experience. And people tell us they like it. Melissa will talk a little bit about what an actual room looks like and the room guarantee that we talked a little bit about already. And actually, we can take you inside an actual room. And as I mentioned before, we're going to allow a few seconds for each slide to transition. We are doing this live, so if you're listening to us right now, later on it'll be recorded, but this is actually a live presentation. So I think, Melissa, this is going to start taking us through a triple.
Yes. So here is one of our Plaza triples. And I am going to take a minute to talk to you about the different building types that we have. For those of you that have started to take a look at the application, you've seen that what you're going to be listing on the application is actually building types. So not names of building. And like Brian mentioned, every incoming freshman is in a triple. So that's not a choice another choice or decision you have to make. We've already made that one for you. You're going to be in a triple room type. So as you can see here, as Brian's swirling around, every student is going to get a bed, a desk, and a dresser, drawer space, as well as closet space. So that comes standard in any of our rooms. Our 4 different building types, the main difference between them really comes down to what the bathroom setup is like. So in our classic and deluxe buildings, it's a communal bathroom. So that's shared on the floor. And then in our plaza and in our suite buildings, those bathrooms are either private to the room or shared with one other room connecting. So that's going to be the main difference. And again, that's what you'll list on your application. I would encourage you to take a look online at our website so you can just, again, familiarize yourself with the different building types, because that's what's going to be important for you to remember. And you'll also be able to take a look at some more of these virtual tours that can show you what different building types look like. But again, pretty standard furniture, as you can see. If you want to do one more spin maybe around the room, Brian. Maybe you can. Oh, okay. Well, you saw once, but we do have these 360 views of some of the other rooms on our housing website. And then again, in our social media, we have room tours, students actually going into their rooms. So I think it's a great glimpse of what the actual rooms will look like. As you can see here, this is an actual student room also. So as we continue to talk about the different amenities and things available to you on the Hill, no city would be complete without a great, thriving food scene, which the Hill is no different. We are consistently ranked #1 in the country for our food. It is not your typical college dorm food. It's really good. Even as staff members, we eat there on a daily basis. It's pretty excellent, and you have lots of variety and lots of choices. So you not only have lots of different choices for cuisine, everything from Pan-Asian, Mediterranean, Latin street food, American comfort food, you also have choices in the meal plans that you get to select from. We have 6 different meal plans. All of them are swipe-based, so it means you get a certain number of swipes per week. For example, 11, 14, or 19 meals per week. For one of our 4 all-you-care-to-eat restaurants, you swipe once and you go into the restaurant and eat, like I said, all you care to eat. Then we also have 4 boutique or grab-and-go restaurants where you can swipe and you get an entree, a side, and a drink. So again, with having the different meal plans, you have flexibility to pick from what you feel like that day. I think we're up to, you can go to like 28 days and have something different every day, like a new meal, something different. But with the meal plans, the reason we have 6 with the 11, 14, and 19 is we have what's called Premier and non-Premier. The difference in that is Premier gives you a little bit more flexibility. So Premier gives you, say you have 14 Premier, that would give you 14 swipes a week. However, you get all those swipes preloaded at the start of the quarter, so you could swipe multiple times, say you get up early, you do your workout at BFit, which is one of our fitness facilities located right on the hill, and you decide to get a healthy smoothie, and then you come back in a half hour after your shower and you want a coffee and a bagel maybe. You can swipe both times in that meal period. With the non-premier, you can swipe once per meal period. It's still not that limiting because we have 5 meal periods throughout the day, so you definitely have time to swipe more than once, and even more than 3 times a day if you want to. But again, that's the difference between premier and non-premier. You're not going to be selecting the meal plan that you need right now in the application. You'll do that later when we send you the offer, but we just wanted to give you an idea of the different flexibility that you'll have in choosing some delicious food while you're here.
Yeah, Melissa's not, she's telling the truth. We eat there all the time. We pay to eat there. The food is fantastic. The workers are amazing. The chefs are amazing. The quality of the food is incredible. And we know that for our incoming students, when we ask incoming Bruins, what are the issues that you care about? The environment and sustainability and food security are always ranking among the top of those really important social issues. And so it's really important to know that a lot of our food is locally sourced. We try as best as we can to reduce waste in the dining halls. You will not see a lot of trays in the dining halls. We encourage people to take what you need, eat it, and then go get some more. So we do everything, the true Bruin values that you're hearing about as you explore UCLA and try to make the determination if this is a place where you can consider home. Know that these values permeate everywhere. And so as we take you through what your room might look like, and then we show you the food and some of the other facilities, really we can now start getting into the experience of what does it actually feel like to go to UCLA. And I think that's what many of our family members and our students are looking for, is that feeling. There's a lot of places where the food is great and the facilities look amazing, but you don't feel at home. And we hope, we're trying our best to convey that feeling of home, stay with you. And you should know that our students tell us that that's one of the things that they appreciate most, is that very quickly UCLA feels like a home away from home. And that's largely because of the amazing staff, both within the housing side, whether it's your housekeepers you see every day, the chefs in the dining hall who know your name and know your dietary needs, or the robust student staff and full-time staff that we have here. Among those staff are 20 faculty and residents. And so some folks don't believe me when I tell them that 20 UCLA professors live in our halls with our students. There's apartments built in to the actual footprint of our residential facilities, and this is their permanent home. They don't have a house somewhere else and they sort of come and go here. This is actually where they live. One of them has 4 children. He's the chair of the chemistry department who lives next door to me. And so there's faculty and staff who provide not only 24/7 mentorship and coaching and assistance, but the safety and security as well, which I'll talk a little bit about. But here, Tara Prescott, she's an English professor, and you also see highlighted here some of our living learning communities. We have close to 20 living learning communities on the Hill. Meaning you can, if you went to hackathons in high school and you're into coding and that's your passion and it's going to connect to either a major in design or computer engineering, you can actually live with 75 other folks who love those things as well. And so that's our design and innovation, our technology and innovation floor. And we have 17 of those. So whether it is sustainability, global health, they're all listed on our website. There's so many that really engage that inside the outside the classroom learning. And it's important to note as well that within the actual facilities and the buildings among our residence halls, we have amazing computer labs, dance practice studios. We have a maker space that is available for every single person who lives on the Hill to go in. And if you do not have a major that's related to the things that you would find in a maker space, it doesn't matter. You can go in and anyone can learn to 3D print. Anyone can learn design in there. It's really amazing. There's sewing machines. There's so many different things. And that's just one of the spaces we have. We've got learning centers where we broadcast esports. We have a recording studio with a sound booth where you have folks who will teach you recording. So there's so many different media arts that you can do that we know are such a big part of every major these days. So you have academic support as well. There's an entire Facebook page that's stand on its own. UCLA Academics on the Hill that'll give you a lot more information. And none of this matters if we don't do it in a diverse and inclusive way. And so you'll hear, as soon as you arrive on campus, you will absolutely start to understand that what is woven into the fabric of everything we do is the vision for a fair, just, and equitable society. And that shows up in our performances. It shows up in our programs and events and our guest speakers and the student programs. You see right here, this was a sustainability installation at TEDx UCLA. TEDx UCLA actually emanates from the Hill, so it's actually a program done by residential staff and students who bring it to Royce Hall every year. So you actually, as a UCLA student, could give it a real TED Talk that we do, and you'll have access to all of these different things. And as we've mentioned a couple of times, we have a very dedicated staff of over 50 staff members who actually live on campus, who at minimum have a master's degree in education or counseling, who literally are the folks who are, they are the mayors of the buildings. Every residence hall has a resident director. They have a team of undergraduate resident assistants, which is a job that we know many of you might be interested in. And so these are folks who not only are there to read a resume, help you find an internship, talk to you when either you're really excited about a new opportunity and you need someone to speak with, or if you hit a bump in the road, they're here to coach you through that as well. We also have 24/7 safety and security all through the year, even during the breaks. And even right now, as we've changed our operation a little bit to go with the flow of our response to COVID-19, we still have staff who are providing that essential service of safety and security for the few folks who are still left with us here living on campus. And so whether that be front desk workers greeting you at all of our high-rise residence halls with a 24-hour desk, or whether it be the resident assistants who every single night complete community walks of the entire Hill, basically looking for folks who need assistance, troubleshooting everything from a light that's gone out to somebody who needs to call home and needs some extra assistance, to if there's any sort of emergency, we have police officers assigned who are on the Hill. We really have a dedicated team to make sure this place is safe all the time. And so we want folks to know that, because we know that if you don't feel safe, it is really, really hard to commit yourself to learning. And we feel as though that if we can help folks feel that sense of safety and security, that will help folks learn. And in addition to physical safety, psychological safety and well-being is an incredibly big part of living on campus at UCLA. We have a fitness center, state-of-the-art fitness center built right into one of our residence halls that anyone can go into. We have a really, really close attention to mental health, close relationship with our counseling center. We know college is going to be stressful. There are going to be bumps in the road. Though that's actually where some of the biggest learning happens, but we're there to help you through that stress. We're help you learn through those challenging moments and get the help you need. Life keeps happening even when you're going through this college thing, and we're here to be as supportive as we can of that. And so just know that we do everything with safety in mind, from the first day of school all the way through graduation.
And we're continuing to grow. We've already created quite the city, as I keep saying, on the Hill here. And another unique thing about our housing program is that we are building more spaces and have the goal of being able to offer a 4-year housing guarantee to all of our incoming freshmen. So as of right now, this is an artist rendering. It is literally being built as we speak. 2 new residence halls that are going up on the Hill that will offer an additional 1,700 bed spaces. And we'll have some more of this kind of state-of-the-art learning labs, study spaces built into these halls. They are set to open fall of 2021. And again, we're pushing for that 4 years of guaranteed housing to really continue to round out your entire experience you can have in UCLA housing. So that's coming soon, building that as well. And as Brian and I have both talked about, we are really proud of this residential community that we've built. I know for me, one of the best parts of my job is that I get to come to an office surrounded by students. I get to interact with students every day. And all of our staff that are here, like Brian said, from the housekeepers to the student staff to the resident directors, are here to be a support, to help you have experiences that you wouldn't normally have, and learn and grow outside of the classroom, as we've been saying. So we're definitely excited today to give you just a little glimpse of what it's like, and we hope that, like I said, you continue to look on our website. Feel free to ask us questions in the live chat through social media, because we're here for this process as well.
And know that even though we have shown you a lot of our physical space and the program events that we do here, the factor that helps you all learn is actually each other. And so when you are living in a community like this, you are going to learn from one another more than any of us here at UCLA could ever hope to achieve. We just try to create the environment to facilitate that. And so it's why we try really hard to match you with good roommates, to be thoughtful about how we conduct all of our programs and events. We want to give you things to talk about. If you think the exact same after you've lived in our residence halls and we haven't done our job, because again, this is not a finite activity here. We know that the lessons that you learn at UCLA, whether they be in the classroom or in your room in your residence hall, those are things you're going to take with you after you graduate. And all those things that we know make a great Bruin, we want you to be a good neighbor when you leave UCLA. We want you to be a good boss. We want you to be a good partner. We want you to care about your community. And we know overwhelmingly that our UCLA graduates do that. And when they do that, and they go out and they change the world, they come back and tell us that a lot of the lessons they learned, whether through meeting somebody or having someone help them through failure, or just learning something from somebody they had no idea existed, or finding a new and inclusive way to approach the world, these are the things that are going to help you as well. They tell us it happened in our residence halls. And that's why we really do believe this is the best place to live and learn in the country. We think I believe it is one of the best places to go to college. And the experience of being able, as Melissa said, to live potentially 4 years here, in addition to the rendering that you saw, we have 2 other apartments that are in Westwood. Westwood is a really great college neighborhood right next door to UCLA, walking distance. And so we have 2 new university apartments that are going up there that'll be done in time for you to live in them in a couple of years. And we're just really, really excited about that. We really do. You'll find that I think no matter who you meet who works on the Hill at UCLA is dedicated to the same mission that Melissa and I have discussed. Melissa, do you want to talk about the big next step that folks should be aware of?
Yes. So the housing application is due May 1st, same as your intent to register. It is not first come, first serve. As long as you get your application in by May 1st, what we do is take every application, and student is given a randomly generated priority number, and we're going to make offers and assignments based on that number. So as long as you get it in by May 1st, that's a deadline to remember. I do want to also say that we talked a little bit about assigning you with roommates. You don't have to have a pre-selected roommate. In fact, most of incoming freshmen, it's random roommate. On the application, you're going to pick your lifestyle preferences. Perhaps if you keep a clean room, when you go to sleep, if you can study with music on, make sure you're filling that out honestly, because that is what we're using to then match you with roommates. So it's important to do that. If you do have a requested roommate, that's great too. It's helpful if you can have that requested roommate by the May 1st deadline. If it's after the fact, if you meet someone later in the summer, we can work with you to perhaps get you with that roommate as well. But again, don't fear the random roommate. We make some great matches, and that gives you more opportunity to grow and get to know 2 new people.
So our contact information as well that you can reach us at. Any question you have whatsoever, please reach out to either email us at uclahousing@housing.ucla.edu, or I really recommend that you spend some time on our at UCLA Housing accounts, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You're going to see TikTok as well. We've got some great new stuff up there. Please check out those channels. They are run by students, and that's another thing that we probably didn't mention. And in addition to resident assistants, we have really amazing jobs. Just by virtue of living on campus, you can run tech, you can run social media, you can plan amazing programs and events. And so if you're looking for a job when you're here, we have a lot of internships, we have a lot of jobs on housing and in residential life. Please check us out at UCLA Housing on all the different social channels. And Frequently Asked Question Friday. Do you want to tell them what this is?
Yes, so you can get more information from the Bruin website, but you'll be able to text in your questions, and myself and other staff members, as well as some student staff, will be helping to answer it. So You can't do it right now? Do it on Friday. Send us your questions. Yeah.
So I think that's it for us. We hope that you and your families continue to be safe. We again want to thank you for spending some time with us today and learning about UCLA. And we really look forward to answering your questions, doing anything we can to help you between now and when we see you at move-in in September. So thank you all so much for being with us today.
Yeah, thank you so much. And congratulations again.
Congratulations. Thank you.